Look at all these books. I love stories. I wonder what they're all about.
Well, little mice, these are the books nominated for the 2016 Washington Children's Choice Picture Book Award. Let me tell you a little bit about them. At the Old Haunted House by Helen Ketterman, illustrated by Nate Ragg. Many creatures live at the old haunted house with their children, including one small witch, 2 little monsters, 3 kittens, 4 goblins, 5 werewolves, and more. When the neighborhood children come trick-or-treating, they're invited inside for a fun party with all. Big Bad Bubble by Adam Rubin, illustrated by Daniel Salmieri. 4 monsters are led to face their greatest fear, bubbles.
That's funny. A monster afraid of bubbles. Usually they're afraid of mice.
A Boy and a Jaguar by Alan Rabinowitz, illustrated by Katja Chien. Alan loves animals, but the great cat house at the Bronx Zoo just makes him sad. Why are they all alone in empty cages? Are they being punished? More than anything, he wants to be their champion, their voice, but he stutters uncontrollably, except when he talks to animals. And then he is fluent. The Cat, the Dog, Little Red, the Exploding Eggs, the Wolf, and Grandma. Written and illustrated by Diane and Christian Fox. Cat tries to read the story of Little Red Riding Hood aloud, but Dog keeps interrupting with silly questions. Catch That Cookie by Hallie Durand, illustrated by David Small. Marshall refuses to believe that gingerbread men can run, even after a series of clues leads his class on a riddle-filled gingerbread cookie hunt. Creature Features. 25 animals explain why they look the way they do, by Steve Jenkins and Robin Page, illustrated by Steve Jenkins. Packed with many cool facts and visuals on where certain animals live and what they eat, this book captures 25 humorous and very true explanations of why animals look the way they do in order to exist in this world. Gaston by Kelly D. Puccio, illustrated by Christian Robinson. A proper bulldog raised in a poodle family and a tough poodle raised in a bulldog family meet one day in the park.
Well, that didn't tell us much. Yeah, I wonder what happens. I guess we'll need to read the book.
The Girl Who Wouldn't Brush Her Hair by Kate Bernheimer, illustrated by Jake Parker. A little girl refuses to brush her hair, but when a team of mice takes up residence in her tangled locks, she faces a tough decision: to brush or not to brush. How Martha Saved Her Parents from Green Beans by David La Rochelle, illustrated by Mark Fearing. Martha hates green beans. When some mean green bandits stroll into town, anyone who has ever said "eat your green beans" is in big trouble. But when the beans kidnap Martha's parents, Martha is forced to take action. She can only think of one way to stop the villainous veggies from taking over her town, and it is not pretty or tasty. If You Happen to Have a Dinosaur by Linda Bailey, illustrated by Colin Jack. If you happen to have a dinosaur lying around your living room and you don't know what to do with it, why don't you use it as a can opener? It will make a terrific nutcracker, too. There are oodles of uses for a dinosaur, from a fine umbrella to an excellent kite and a dandy pillow, not to mention a reliable burglar alarm and the perfect excuse to forget your homework. Ivan, The Remarkable True Story of the Shopping Mall Gorilla by Catherine Applegate, illustrated by G. Brian Karras. Captured as a baby, Ivan was brought to a Tacoma, Washington mall to attract shoppers. Gradually, public pressure built until a better way of life for Ivan was found at Zoo Atlanta. From the Congo to America, and from a local business attraction to a national symbol of animal welfare, Ivan the shopping mall gorilla traveled an astonishing distance in miles and in impact. This is his true story. Last Stop on Market Street by Matt de la Pena, illustrated by Christian Robinson. A young boy rides the bus across town with his grandmother and learns to appreciate the beauty in everyday things.
Hey, did you notice that Gaston and this book have the same illustrator? No, I didn't. He must be a really good artist.
Life-Size Ocean by Anita Ganeri, illustrated by Stuart Jackson Carter. Life-Size Ocean offers young readers a unique opportunity to see a variety of sea animals at their actual size. This enchanting underwater adventure starts off with the smallest of sea creatures, a tiny copepods, and ends up with the largest, the blue whale.
If a turtle's eye is this big, how big do you think a blue whale's eye would be? Bigger than me, for sure.
Maddie's Fridge by Lois Brandt, illustrated by Vin Vogel.
Maddie's fridge is almost empty, while Sophia's fridge is full of food. How can Sophia help her friend Maddie without breaking her promise not to tell anyone?
Mogi, The Heart of the House by Kathy Appelt, illustrated by Mark Rosenthal. A rambunctious puppy finds a home at the Ronald McDonald House, a place that houses sick children and their families while they undergo treatment. My Teacher is a Monster, written and illustrated by Peter Brown. Bobby thinks his teacher, Ms. Kirby, is horrible, but when he sees her outside of school and they spend a day in the park together, he discovers she might not be so bad after all. The Secret Life of Squirrels, written and photographed by Nancy Rose. Mr. Peanuts, a rather unusual squirrel who enjoys playing the piano and reading, learns that everything is more fun with a friend. Sick Simon, written and illustrated by Dan Kroll. By not covering his mouth or washing his hands, Simon spreads his cold to his teacher and classmates, much to the delight of 3 germs named virus, protozoa, and bacteria. 10 Rules of Being a Superhero, written and illustrated by Deb Paludi. An instruction manual for aspiring superheroes that follows the adventures of action figure Captain Magma and his sidekick owner, Lava Boy, as they outsmart a villainous dinosaur, evade a bee, and save a worm from certain destruction.
Hey, maybe we should write a book about how to be super mice.
This is a Moose by Richard T. Morris, illustrated by Tom Lichtenheld. Director Billy Wadler is trying to film a documentary about moose, but the moose in question has no intention of spending his life in the woods, and his animal friends, who have dreams of their own, help him prove his point. These are the nominees of the 2016 Washington Children's Choice Picture Book Award. Which will you like best?
Oh, I guess I need to read all the stories first. I'm excited. They all look so good. Yeah, it'll probably be a hard decision which to vote for.
This video has been made by Paula Whitman using Microsoft Photo Story 3 for Windows. The book mice helped too.